Greetings, fellow traveler. This laboratory has top secret clearance access and maximum security. How did you get past all the crows and squirrels guarding the door? I've just been working on a new experiment. I'm trying to formulate a theory for how many technologies it takes to create a life worth living. Although they seem to occasionally form naturally in the outside world, I want to be the first to create one in a lab out of madness. If I can get a patent on that, my name will be in the scientific journals for sure. I can see the headlines now. World saved. Stranger suddenly fixes everything. Now, if you'll excuse me for a moment, where was I? A bit of time on the clock never hurts. Joining the pieces together. Surviving a trial by fire. Giving things a little swirl. Top it all off with a magic wand and a crystal ball, because I don't know how anyone makes it through the modern world without those. And what do we find? It says to quit moping around and go outside to get some fresh air. Well, I suppose that makes sense. Listen, why don't we get a quick reading in before then? Here, sit down, have a sip of this. I don't know what it is, but I promise it is an industrial cleaning solution. Have we already talked about this? I feel like we've heard this story before. Our first card is the Nine of Pentacles, reversed. This is a card of harmony and happy home life, enjoying the beauty of your labor. In the reverse, it indicates a discontentment in the home, either a bad relationship with one's spouse or neighbors, or a looming threat of the loss of stability. Though you feel you should be happy with your situation, something just doesn't seem right. Saging and conventional means of clearing up the negative energies hasn't worked. What should you be doing differently? That is what we shall explore today. What crosses you is the King of Wands. In a crossing position, a face card nearly always represents a person. You're coming up against somebody with a fiery passion in a self-actualized form. Intelligent, iconoclastic, daring, perhaps with a flair for showmanship and gravitas. This is someone who shifts paradigms effortlessly and can be a formidable figure to be reckoned with. Someone who may have insight and wisdom beyond what you presently see. You may feel like the ground is shifting beneath your feet, and this presence looms over your situation, though they seem to be tangentially related. Their influence may have cast things into a sort of disarray that makes more sense than how things initially were. The root of the situation is the Five of Swords reversed. Normally, this is a card of continuing strife and conflict, far beyond the point where the battle has ended. In the reverse position, it means you have set such petty behaviors aside and moved on. This may indicate you've suffered some sort of defeat recently, or taken a loss which has led you to what you're currently dealing with. Undoubtedly, this King of Wands plays a part in this shifting of fortunes that you face. Your past is defined by a reversed Ten of Cups. In the upright position, this is a card of ultimate bliss and achievement, one of the most prominent in the deck. In the reverse, it can indicate that a lot of time waiting for your ship to come in has led to naught. Your past experiences have felt on the cusp of something great that is not fully realized, and you're being called to reflect on whether you really want things to stay the way they were to begin with. Is this a time to resist or to embrace change? What crowns you is a Nine of Swords reversed. Under normal circumstances, this is a card of grief and mourning, processing the difficult aftermath of a defeat or a devastating battle. In the reverse, however, it can indicate that such things need to be set aside. The time for grieving is coming to an end, and you must now pack up the pieces and begin to move forward. That you may not feel ready for this could be an obstacle, but you are. Rise from the past defeats and reassert yourself as an active participant in the shaping of your destiny. In your future is the Three of Wands reversed. In its upright position, this is a card of waiting on the success of an endeavor, or doting hopefully on news from a traveler. In the reverse, it can indicate that this time of stagnation and waiting is coming to an end. You need to live in the moment, as patiently awaiting change is no longer serving your interests. The time for action approaches rapidly. Yourself in this situation is best represented by a reversed Four of Cups. This card normally indicates brooding or apathy, time spent overly contemplative of a situation where the answer is right in front of you. The reverse can indicate that such a time of deep contemplation is coming to an end, or that you're open and ready to recognize opportunity when it presents itself. This synergizes with the rest of the deck. The hour is nigh, and not only is the time for your ascent approaching, but deep down, you're ready for it. What surrounds you is the Emperor. This card represents the essence of divine masculine authority, protection, and the innate stability that this energy brings. You are in good hands. You need not fear for your situation. Trust that the presence of this figure is a positive influence rather than a negative one. With the King of Wands and the Emperor in your vicinity, it would be unwise to struggle against the way things are proceeding. These are figures not to be trifled with, and their upright positions do not indicate any malicious intent. What you hope for is the King of Cups. This is a different sort of masculine energy from the Emperor, softer in an emotionally caring way, gentle, spiritually attuned, and capable of nurturing your feelings. The other masculine energies in this reading are not an exact match for this type of figure, but they may be capable of some of the aspects of what you seek. It is important to note, however, that where cups are water, wands are fire. The energies associated with this situation are more energetic than soothing, and it's important not to build up expectations for someone to be a certain way. Rather than struggle with the consternation over how you want somebody to be, embrace what they are and find the aspects that you seek in what might be a slightly different form. The final outcome is the Sun reversed. Some cards in the tarot are of such a stark and overt nature that even the reversed meaning is similar to their meaning in the upright. The Sun is one such card. The Sun is the sun. It signals joyful exuberance and success, only perhaps with slightly tempered expectations in the reverse, where the sun breaks in halfway through and blasts away the dreary rains of spring. This makes sense as the rest of the spread seems to indicate that you've had a difficult time lately, and that can cast a dreary shadow over the proceedings. But step confidently, knowing you are emerging into brighter days. The rain can't last forever, and even when it's started to become a familiar fixture in our lives, it should never be an unwelcome sight when the sun finally breaks through the clouds. I think the overall message of this one is pretty clear. The King of Wands shown crossing you in the start of the spread is not your enemy. What you might be seeing as a disruption to your situation should not be treated as an attack. It was a bad situation to begin with, and it's ending. Anything you may have lost in the course of this change was not worth keeping, and there's no need for a period of mourning, as it seems like you've already done plenty of that. There's a lot of masculine energy in this spread, with the Emperor and 2 kings in upright positions. And what's more, they're the only cards in upright positions, indicating that this crossing influence may be the only thing in your life that's right at the moment. It should be noted that the Emperor's energies are more in line with the King of Wands than the King of Cups. I'm getting the sense that maybe you're viewing this person as a negative influence, as you prefer a gentler masculine energy, but that doesn't seem to be the right approach to things right now. Sometimes you need to accept that things are already under control and allow yourself to be open to where life wants to take you, rather than insistent on where you want to go. If nothing has seemed to work in the past, then maybe it's time for a new approach. And if you're willing to allow people to show you a better way, sometimes great things can happen. This series of readings have all felt like a continuing storyline of sorts in some ways, perhaps one told from various perspectives. We've had a persistent theme of emerging from a time of difficulty, conquering an oppressive foe, hoping for better days, wondering why things aren't happening faster, and waiting and waiting and waiting. Every spread has directed us to the same message: to hold on, to have faith, to soothe our anxieties, and the constant reassurance that better days are surely coming. This looks like a good final reading of this set, as the final message is that better days are finally here if we're willing to see that the obstacles were already working in our favor the entire time. Trust the process. Fear is not an asset, and often the greatest obstacle to the shifting of our fortunes is our own attachment to trauma-based behaviors and cynicism that the haunting themes of the past keep emerging again and again. In order to move past these things and finally put them to rest, we have to first believe that's something that can happen. And a good place to start is considering the possibility that the figures who have seemed in some sense to shake our fragile balance of emotional security may have been doing so to finally wake us from a dreary, endless sleep. It's time to wake up and meet the sun streaming in through our windows with a new set of eyes. This reading is thanks to the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot by Scott Murphy and Melanie Marquise. I have really enjoyed this set of readings with Melanie's deck, and it is actually the one I use most in my personal readings, so it may make an appearance again in the future. This set is finally complete. I think the next set of readings might be with the Salvador Dali deck, but I'm not sure when that'll be, as I have a heavy content workload at the moment. My own mandala deck is about halfway finished, and I'm really excited to show you the results of that when it's ready. It's coming along very beautifully. There's also another symposium in the works, and those are a lot of fun for me, but I need to get the one that's currently up refined and finished first. Also, the Major Arcana set of the Card Meaning Shorts will probably be the next of the weekly uploads, as they're a little shorter and easier to work with under current circumstances. This channel hasn't really taken off yet. It's still very much under construction, but I'm almost ready to get things going at a faster pace. So if you've enjoyed any of this content, please like and subscribe, as there's a lot more of all of it coming in the future. Feel free to reach out if you're interested in personal readings or collaborations. I'm still feeling out this space, and I have a lot of ideas stewing in the background. I hope to share more with you soon. And, as always, good luck and safe travels.